And this guy, Tony, just assaulted her again and again and raped her over and over. They did nothing. Except one day, suddenly, they transferred her to the Hobson. Not long after she moved in there, she was found in her bathtub, strangled to death, having been raped.
Any of them go to treatment or anything like that? Yeah. Is it hard to see? How much fentanyl is in this building?
See all them for them everywhere.
Do you feel like first responders are called more to these buildings than, you say, your average apartment building?
Oh, I know they are. That's the whole basis of my approach, is I'm just looking at hotspots.
I've lived there 10 years now.
10 years.
And I've watched 30 people die.
So they're declining inside of these buildings?
Rapidly. They came right into an environment, we put them right into an environment where the drugs are being used. No one cleaned up there.
So are there rooms that are chosen intentionally?
Oh yeah, I chose rooms that were kept upright. We bring them in, the public's satisfied, they don't see them on the streets, we're doing our job. No, you're not doing your job. You're not helping people rebuild their lives like your mission statement says you are. They're doing the same thing in these other buildings, and they need to stop doing that. And if people knew what they were doing, I mean, they wouldn't back it. And I watched them just deteriorate. Nobody really cared. Yeah. It's not working. They need to change. Somebody needs to step up and do something about it.
Somebody said, well, what about grief counseling? I'd be fine if the deaths stopped happening, and then I could grieve those that have happened. But grief counseling, when the traumas continue to go on.
In this building of chaos, drugs, overdosing,
alcohol, and are there a lot of drugs in there?
physical fights, murders. If people's lives are gonna just continue to be as chaotic as they were on the street, then why are we here? The solution is not to sit there and let people rot and die in their apartments.
We just have the problem that was out on the streets in the buildings.
He's in the promotional videos for the funding and all that. He died of an overdose about a month, maybe 3 weeks ago. So the guy that he was with gave him the wrong pipe. He's trying to revive him with his own Narcan and not telling staff this shit's happening. It's like, the people in the community knew what was happening for real.
That's why we're telling these stories.
They would be like, what the fuck? And we shouldn't have to get to a point of being like, we're gonna expose you so that you fucking do something.
How many times did you find clients dead?
A few, but it seemed like a massive amount after I left. There were a lot of them that passed away there. A lot of them. I felt like an enabler more than a helper. I had to have some consequences before I could dig down deep enough to find the motivation to do something different. And I don't see that happening in harm reduction.
While you worked in these buildings, how often did you see first responders, police, fire, EMTs?
Often.
Often? Daily sometimes? Yeah. I know there are a lot of calls that go to this permanent supportive housing buildings, and
there's some of the higher use
and how
facilities.
much is that affecting your priority one calls?
High utilizer facilities draw on our limited resources. They just do.
It's really hard to watch the abuse. Watching people that are suffering, I walk away with scars, and I have to manage that, and there's no support for me on that. And it's difficult to watch those situations happen because they unfold behind the closed doors.